The four of us black girls were single, and the white girl is in a happy, healthy, thriving relationship. Her partner is Hispanic, and they have been dating for a few months now, but like the normal progression: met, hit it off, went on a few dates, got in a relationship, long distance right now, meeting parents soon. Like the normal.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this interesting story from this woman who pretty much is noticing all her black friends are single. Okay, they're single AF, no prospects in sight. Meanwhile, all the white women are either taken, they're getting engaged, or getting married, they're moving on with their lives. Okay, she's noticing why. Okay, why, oh why are black women lagging behind? Take a look.
I just went to brunch with a couple of my homegirls after church, and there were 5 of us. 4 of us were black, 1 was white. And the 4 of us black girls were single, and the white girl is in a happy, healthy, thriving relationship. Her partner is Hispanic, and they have been dating for a few months now, but like the normal progression: met, hit it off, went on a few dates, got in a relationship, long distance right now, meeting parents soon. Like the normal. Okay, no gray, no limbo, no nothing like that. And then me and all my black homegirls are talking about our relationship status, and all of us are single for sure. All of us are like actively dating, some more active than others, but nonetheless single.
Let me know what you guys think. Okay, what are the numbers? 1 in 4 black women are getting married. Okay, why are black women the least desirable woman when it comes to getting married? Okay, why is that the case? I'm genuinely curious. Let me know what you guys think. Matter of fact, let me know the last interaction that you guys had with a black woman, good or bad. I'm just curious, good or bad. Let me know.
But then we're kind of telling the stories of like the guys that we're talking to or have gone on recent dates with, and like these struggle stories are insane. And for reference, we're all in between 27 and 29, maybe 30. Why is this the commonality with me and all my black girls? Like faithfully, not just this group of black girls, but like so many, my closest friends, my black girlies that I've met on assignments, out, like all my black girlies that exclusively date black men are on a struggle bus. And a part of me is like, just get off the bus, date other races, start dating any other race. And there is something in my stomach that immediately just gets sick at that thought. I want black love. I once read this article, and it was saying how black women need to start dating outside of their race because it's not working. Like, it broke down all these statistics and all these things. And I did a poll on my Instagram story. Like, would you rather date down or date down within your race? So date down with a black man. So, you know, let go of some of your non-negotiables, a man that makes less than you, a man that like, whatever your non-negotiables are, date down from those.
Why is that the case? And we're looking at the danger zone. Okay, shout out to Kevin Samuels. He used to say around that 27, 28, 29, 30 mark is the danger zone. Okay, typically speaking, that's when a woman starts to wake up and realize, okay, wait a minute. Okay, maybe, just maybe, I don't have the time that I thought I had when it comes to thoughting and bopping out in these streets. Now, I'm not saying that her specifically in the video was thoughting and bopping, but they tend to get a little more serious when they start to hover around that 30 mark. The emotional baggage, the physical baggage, the psychological baggage, all those things intertwine when it comes to the decision making on if a man wants to deal with a woman close to 30 or not.
Or date white. And a majority of black women said they would rather date down. And I'm like, what is the chokehold? I'm asking myself, what is the chokehold? Like, I myself would rather date down than date outside of my race. And It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I wish I had more to say than that. I am very frustrated with dating at this point, and I get the girlies that are like, decenter men and focus on your relationship with God and focus on your friendships and da 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 da. And that's what my 20s has been all about. My friends, traveling, catching a fight, doing whatever I want to do, spending money willy-nilly. Like, that's what I do. Like, y'all not trying to come home to the same person every day? Y'all not trying to fold his laundry? Y'all not trying to cook dinner? Y'all not trying to go to Pilates after you make your kids lunch? Oh, we got different goals.
So, okay, you want a black man, that's cool. Compete. Right? You're gonna have to compete. And I think that's where the conversation falls apart. Oh, why do I have to compete for a man? I got my degree, I got my education, I got my diploma, I got my master's, I got my doctorate. Why do I have to compete? I'm the prize. Okay. Right? Okay. If you say so. I've seen black women disqualify black men for the most trivial, ridiculous things. Okay. I've seen them disqualify them for being too boring or, sounding whitewashed or, having a 9-to-5 job. As, where does that sound? He's not thug enough. He's not good enough. Right? Those are the typical talking points that you see. Now, I'm not saying the lady in the video specifically is saying that, but that's what you tend to see in the culture. All right, guys. So the next clip is going to be her addressing the dating down comment. Apparently somebody gave her some pushback when it came to that comment. So take a look.
So the sentiment date down seems to severely strike a nerve for honestly everyone. It strikes a nerve for both black men and for black women, because the black men are like hurt or like offended by it, and then the black women are like, don't you settle. And okay, calm down. First and foremost, date down does not mean I think less of you. It means these are my standards and now I'm wiggling on some of them so that you meet the standard. Like, relax. For me, some of my non-negotiables were financial stability, not necessarily that you make more than me, but that you make enough to live a comfortable life and that you are financially responsible, because you're not about to combine with my money and be crazy acting. Okay, it is my preference for my man to make more than me, because one day I do want to have kids and I would love to stay home with them for as long as possible. So yeah, I do want you to be able to like provide for that lifestyle. But again, not my non-negotiable. That's my preference. Another non-negotiable has been religion. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I want my man to have a relationship with God. I don't want it to just be, oh, he goes to church on Christmas and Easter and, he grew up in the church and that's it. Like, do you have a personal relationship with God? Because if you don't, then you will not know how to love me correctly. I don't want it. I think some women have started to, in my opinion, what would be for me, date down by saying, oh, well, he's Muslim, but like we can have a mixed household, or he is Jewish, or he doesn't go to church, he doesn't believe in anything, he's agnostic, but we can just make it work. For me, that's not something that I want to do. That's a non-negotiable. Another one for me is I don't want someone who has kids. I understand that people don't see that as a non-negotiable. For me, I grew up in a co-parent household. Didn't like it. And I also have a lot of friends who are co-parenting their children, and I don't like it. The dynamic between mothers and fathers and this co-parenting are not always good, and I would prefer to not add to that by being a stepmom, the girlfriend, whatever. Like, I'm just not interested in the possible drama right now when relationships are hard enough. Another non-negotiable that I used to have that I'm wiggling on more, and it's not necessarily dating down, but it's me just like growing and realizing that it's not that deep, was education. I need you to value education, but I don't necessarily need you to have a 4-year degree, because nowadays people are making big money with no degree. People are very successful without a degree. And so as as someone who grew up in an African household, going to college was not optional. It was mandatory. Education was a priority. So I grew up with that mindset, and so I had that same mindset for my partner. But again, with how the world works and seeing the growth and the differences, I'm like, oh, well, it's not necessarily a non-negotiable anymore. So when I say date down, I'm saying letting go of those things, like, to me, would be dating down. There are other non-negotiables, but I don't need to go into every single one. But those are like an example of, okay, I'm willing to date someone that is never gonna make more than me. I'm gonna have to work full-time my whole life, okay? Like, or, oh, he has a kid, but they have a good relationship, so, like, let's see if it could work. The religion one, not wiggling on, haven't wiggled on since college. But things like that. And also, I don't know why higher comprehension has been missing, mostly with the men. Just because I would consider dating outside of my race, those standards would still apply. The point of dating outside of my race is to widen my pool. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go find Chad that has no job, no home, no education, and 5 baby mamas. Like, relax. So yes, that is my version of dating down, and I hope it stops offending people. I think dating down is like, that phrase is an automatic trigger, especially for Black men, like, you know, and then Black women see it as settling, but like, it genuinely is not either of those things. Like, it's not meant to do either of those things. It's just a phrase to explain something. So hopefully that cleared it up. I'm really trying not to do that anymore, because I don't think I'm asking for too much. And yeah, I do understand there is that wiggle room of, okay, you're here and we can grow together. And so that's why I say, like, sometimes you date down and it's not settling. It's like, okay, this is an area you have to grow in. So, like, let's grow in that area together, because then you're up to my standards, or like, you're meeting my non-negotiables. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think about her list. I think there were some valid, reasonable requests within what she had to say. Now, is that going to translate into the real world, into practical, real life scenarios? I don't know. Right? I mean, this is the internet. She could literally say anything, but if she's willing to kind of make compromises and kind of meet somebody in the middle when it comes to certain things, I think that is reasonable. When it comes to dating, you know, there are people out here. There's single people out here. I think I was reading a stat from blackdemographics.com. I think roughly 50% of Black men are single. So I don't think there's a shortage of single Black men. I think it's more so, are you the thing that these Black men want? Okay, are you, or how are you attracting these Black men? I think that's what she needs to look at as well. It's not necessarily, oh, well, you know, there's no good Black men out here. The reality is there are good Black men out here, right? There's plenty of them out here. Do they want you? All right, guys. So the next clip is going to be her talking about an article, how marriage is for white people.
Okay, so first of all, this was the article I was referring to. It was from back in 2022. It was by the New York Post. If you just Google that title, you'll find it. But the article was based off of the book that a lot of y'all are recommending, White People, or Marriages for White People. So let's start there. So the article starts by saying how Black women are more educated than Black men statistically. And so based on having a 4-year degree, we already have less suitable options. And then it says, even though we have less suitable options, we are still the least likely to marry outside of our race. Like, we know that we're fighting for our lives for the, like, 2 little fish in the sea, but we still be fighting. Then it goes on to say how Black women tend to marry Black men that are not suitable for us, rather than date other races. And then I think one of the most interesting facts is though we have such few marriages, we still have the highest divorce rate. Then it goes on to talk about the book that this is all referencing, which I didn't even realize at the time. Like, I kind of was just into the article and didn't think about the book, but now I really do want to go read the book. But it goes on to talk about how black women are very loyal, though black men are 2 times as likely to marry outside of our race.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack here, okay? Because you can look at the 1800s and the early 1900s. There were more black marriages than white marriages, okay? Black people were married more than ever in the 1800s and early 1900s, okay? Now, one can say, hey, maybe it was during the end of segregation around 1960s, or the welfare system, okay, the civil rights era, like however you want to slice and dice it. Back then, we were getting married. Okay, and I'm talking about a black man and a black woman for the context of this video. So why is that the case, right? And again, you can look at the welfare system and say, well, you know, black women were incentivized to not have a black man in the household, or a man, period, in the household. Okay, their daddy was the government.
So then the article goes on to talk about how different conversations have sparked, especially during the book tours. And this one sentence, it felt like betraying the race, is something that I personally feel like. And I know I don't necessarily need to feel that, because it's putting myself first. Like, I don't need to solve this problem on my own, like, love life, but I do relate to that sentence. And a lot of people are sitting here saying, let's talk about how it's a bigger problem. This is systematic racism. It goes back to well aware. Talks about it here, very well aware. I am not just blaming all of a sudden black men are the problem, dead or black women are the problem. Like, I'm saying I know this is a long-standing systematic issue. Just talking about my own personal experience, babes. But then this paragraph kind of talks about the dating down idea of letting go of non-negotiables so that they can stay loyal to black men. And again, that is something that I do. All my friends will say that is my worst trait. I will literally wiggle on things I should not wiggle on, because I'm like trying to just be in a black relationship. Then it kind of goes on to talk about this misplaced loyalty that clearly I relate to. And then this last sentence ate me up. Black women should not be held hostage to the struggles of black men. And again, yes, systematic still falls on us emotionally, psychologically, physically, mentally, all these things. And that's exhausting. Then it also states that interracial marriages that include black women have increased, and that we shouldn't have to apologize or feel guilty for doing so. So that is where I was getting this information from. This was not just girl talk. Though it was a brunch conversation, this is a studied thing. There are statistics, there are numbers. This is not just my opinion. I'm telling my perspective, but math is math.
All right, guys, so there you have it. I mean, listen. Whatever obstacle you think you might have, it comes down to one thing: compete. That's really what it is. Compete. I have a friend. His cousin was around, I think she was around 30 at the time. And she didn't have any prospects. She wasn't married, didn't have any kids. And she had the idea to go to a whole bunch of college and university reunions. Okay, you know, when you graduate, you have a reunion every 5-10 years, what have you. She was going to a whole bunch of reunions looking for a man. She was going from place to place, event to event, looking for a man. Okay, I'm talking desperately looking for a man. How many women are going to do that? Let's be honest. How many women are going to desperately look for a man. Okay, look for a man like their life depends on it. How many women are going to do that? Very few. All right, guys, so there you have it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Go ahead and provide me some feedback. And until next time.